Please be advised, this podcast is not suitable for all audiences. Graphic and disturbing audio is used to help describe our content. Violence, rape, and murder is the subject of our stories, so please be advised. This is your warning.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jacques Delisle, compassionate husband or a calculated killer? In the historic landscape of Quebec City, where cobblestone streets and pristine rivers portray a paradise, Jacques Delisle lived a life most would envy. A distinguished judge, he rose to the Quebec Court of Appeal, his rulings impacting lives from 1992 to 2009. At 74, he seemed destined for a peaceful retirement with his wife, Mary Nicole Rainville, a woman of grace who had stood by him through the decades of judicial life. But on a chilly November morning in 2009, a single gunshot punctured that fairy tale image, plunging Delisle into a saga that would grip Canada. A tale of love, betrayal, and a justice system forced to confront one of its own. Mary Nicole, 71, was found slumped in their condo, a bullet through her head. Delisle, distraught, insisted it was suicide. She had suffered a stroke and a broken hip. Her once unbridled spirit had been suffocated by pain and dependency. She couldn't go on. He told the police, his voice steady and shaky at the same time. The loaded gun, he said. It belonged to her. Yet whispers of doubt began to emerge. Delisle, a man who once cast fate against others, now faced the strong arm of justice himself. Was this a mercy for a suffering spouse, or something darker? Rumors of an affair with his former secretary and financial strains provided a motive. In 2010, the unthinkable happened. Jacques Delisle, the first judge in Canadian history to be charged with murder, was arrested for killing his wife. The trial in 2012 was a spectacle. Prosecutors painted a picture of a cold calculation. A judge who orchestrated a murder to escape a loathsome life of taking care of his disabled wife. They pointed to inconsistencies. The angle of the bullet, they claimed, didn't align with suicide. The jury, swayed by forensic reports, convicted Delisle of first-degree murder. At 77, gone was his judicial robe, replaced by prison shackles, sentenced to a life with no parole for 25 years. Canada watched. Stunned, a pillar of justice had fallen, labeled a killer. But the story didn't end there. From his cell, Delisle fought, his legal mind undeterred. He insisted on his innocence, and cracks in the case began to surface. Independent experts questioned the forensic evidence, arguing the bullet's path supported suicide. The original pathology report, they said, was flawed, rushed by an overworked coroner. A miscarriage of justice loomed, and Delisle's supporters, legal scholars, former colleagues rallied. This is a man wronged, they argued, a victim of a system he once served. In 2021, after 9 years behind bars, a ray of light peeked from behind Lady Justice. Federal Justice Minister David Lametti wielded a rare power. He ordered a new trial, citing a reasonable basis for a wrongful conviction. Canada's legal system was at an inflection point. How could it fail one of its own? Yet the path to redemption faced many trials and tribulations. By 2022, the second trial stalled when the original autopsy evidence was deemed unreliable, leaving prosecutors with a weakened case. Delisle, now 88, frail but defiant, stood at a crossroads. In March 2024, the saga took its final twist. In a Quebec courtroom, Delisle made a choice that shook the nation. He pleaded guilty, not to murder, but to manslaughter. For the first time, he admitted a role. He had left the loaded gun for Mary Nicole, knowing she might end her life. Was it an act of compassion? A husband honoring his wife's wish to escape suffering? Or a calculated move to secure freedom? The court, sympathetic, sentenced him to time served, 13 years, including pretrial detention. After a few hours in custody, Delisle walked free, a man whose story gripped a nation and left many wondering. 5 months later, in August 2024, Jacques Delisle died at 89, taking any explanation to the grave with him. His case left Canada grappling with answers that only he knew. Is justice truly blind when judging its own? How do we weigh love against law, mercy against motive? Delisle's life, being both a judge and a convict, and subsequent death has left us with many questions and few answers, and Delisle is the only one with the true answers that we will never know. Thanks for listening, and tune in for the next story from The Law Is Mine. If there's a story that you would like to hear, please comment and also give us your thoughts and comments on this story. We would love to hear it. Thanks again.